Hello, welcome. Welcome to yoga practice. I'm Shannon McQuaid. I am the founder of Fireflix yoga program for firefighters. This class is really designed for the North County Fire Department. So I hope you guys are joining me, and we'll get started in just about 1 minute. So while we're waiting, maybe grab something to sit on, like a block or a bolster or a pillow, something to get your hips a little bit higher so that your low back can be in its more supportive position, so you're not tilting backwards onto your tailbone and rounding your lumbar spine. That's what I was trying to say. And I'm not sure if we'll use a strap or not, but it's always nice to just have your props handy in case you need them. You don't have to jump off your mat and go get them. I'm coming to you from Lake Tahoe. It is really hot up here today. I wonder how hot it is there in Pacifica or Daly City or Brisbane, wherever you're tuning in from. And we're just giving everybody a couple minutes to arrive, maybe like 30 more seconds, and then I'll go ahead and get started. And if you're just joining, I am Shannon McQuaid, yoga teacher, founder of Fireflix Yoga. Thanks for joining. I'm hoping you can hear me and see me really clearly. All right, let's begin. So one of the things I've been doing lately is doing more training for first responders who want to lead these classes. And today I was thinking about like really what makes yoga unique. Because it's easy to think of yoga as a physical fitness program or practice. And of course, when I started, that's exactly what it was for me. It's how I got my workout in every day. And then over time, there's other ways in which I get my physical workout in, but yoga for me is a way to connect with what's important to me, how I'm doing in my life, what's my purpose, where I'm headed. So I think a way in which we can set ourselves up for maybe a deeper practice. And if all that you're looking for is to get a little relief from back pain, or you want to move your body a little bit, then great. That's your intention today. If you're here because some other things in your life are plaguing you, relationships, anxiety, uncertainty, then you can approach your practice from that mindset. And so what I'd like to suggest is that we all just take a moment and think about really what's our motivation for being here. Why are you here today? No judgment, can be anything. And then hold that in your mind and set it as an intention, like my intention for yoga practice today is, and then fill in the blank. So let's do that. Find a way to sit comfortably tall. I'm sitting up on a yoga bolster so that my hips, my knees, and my back all feel really supported. Take a moment to just press down through your pelvis and lengthen your spine. So get more length in your spine. Draw the back of your head back so that your ears line up over your shoulders, shoulders over hips, roughly. And then put your hands in a place, put your hands in a position so that your shoulders can relax down. I can tell that today I've been really working hard on this new Train the Trainer, and so words are hard to come by. But the nice thing about yoga practice is that it works without a lot of talking. So just getting centered with a few deep breaths. Ideally in through the nose, out through the nose. Feeling the chest, the rib cage, and then the belly expand. And then everything releasing on an exhalation. A couple more breaths like that. Breathing deeper than you normally would. And then let's do an internal size up. So just start scanning from the top of the head down through the face, into the throat, torso, hips, legs, feet. And notice what physical sensations are present for you now. And your energy level. Do you have a lot of energy? Do you feel pretty wound up? Are you exhausted? Haven't gotten a lot of good sleep or time to rest lately. And so this isn't a practice really of judging, it's just noticing, how are you doing? Mentally, where's your mind going? Does it tend to go to worrying or ruminating? Emotionally, I'm not sure if we touched on that, but how are you doing emotionally? And seeing the connection between all of them. So we'll start to move our body, right? We'll start to move our body. We'll synchronize our body with our breath. We'll keep coaxing our mind back to what's happening in the present moment. And at the end of class today, we'll do the same internal size up and see if anything has shifted for you. Drawing your hands together at your chest or keeping your hands relaxing on your thighs, whatever's most comfortable for you. Go ahead and set your intention. So what's your purpose? What's your motivation for class today? What are you hoping to get? What are you hoping to leave behind? Great. And then from there, let's start in a wide knee child's pose. So again, you can use, if you have a pillow, or I know you guys have blocks, so I'll just stick with the block. So on hands and knees, open up your knees wide apart, bring your feet together, and then start to take the hips back towards the heels. Now for lots of people, the hips sort of stop, and then you want to begin to make your chest, your way for your chest, your head, your forehead to rest on the mat. If your hips can go a little further back, great. But the block is there to catch your head if it's not resting all the way down onto the mat. This is a resting pose. If this doesn't feel good for you because of anything going on in your knees or hips or back, then go ahead and start on your back. So you have a choice here. Bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees go wide apart. So whether you're here on your back, feeling support beneath your body, or you are in a wide knee child's pose, what I want you to do is begin to deepen your breath. So bring your attention, your awareness on your breath, and start inhaling for a count of 4. And then exhaling for a count of 5. So inhaling, slowing that inhale down, feeling the chest, the rib cage, the belly expand. And then exhaling, even slowing the exhale down a little bit more. Yep. Feeling the belly draw back, the rib cage hug in, the collarbones lower down. So inhaling deeply for at least 4 seconds. And then exhaling completely for a minimum of 5 seconds. And we focus on the exhalation. You might already know this if you've attended my class before, but when we can really amplify, lengthen your exhalation, slow it way down, we begin to relax the body's fight or flight response. And keep tuning in, just noticing what you feel in your body in these postures as you're breathing. You're going to just start to let go. Whatever happened before yoga practice, just really let that be in the past. What's going to occur after class, that's going to happen afterwards. And keep letting your mind focus on what's happening right now. And each time you catch your mind going forward in time or going back in time, just bring your attention back onto feeling the breath in your body. If you're on your back with your knees wide apart, go ahead and draw your knees together, roll onto one side, take your time, come onto hands and knees. If you are in a wide knees child's posture, then all you need to do is just press up. But we're all going to meet in tabletop pose. Tuck the toes. And then line the wrists underneath the shoulders, grip the mat with your hands, and inhale, lift your chest forward, let your belly drop, let your tailbone lift up. And then exhale, press the mat away, round the spine. Good. Inhale, imagining that you're pulling the mat towards your knees, lift the chest, belly drops. Exhale, press the mat away with your feet, with your hands, round the spine. Inhale, imagining the knees and the hands are coming together, coming into cow pose, and then exhale, pressing round, coming into cow pose. Good, let's come into tabletop pose, neutral spine. Take a deep breath in. On an exhalation, press into your feet, press into your hands, let the knees hover. Start to activate the core. So the knees are hovering an inch or two up off the mat. Hugging the belly towards the spine. Good, let the knees drop down. Inhale into cow pose. Exhale, pressing round into cat pose. Good, come into neutral spine. Take a deep breath in. Press into the balls of the feet and into your hands and lift the knees up. This time, try drawing the left foot forward and the right hand. So you're going to draw the left foot and the right hand forward and then back. Other side, forward and then back. One more time, right hand, left foot, like a crawling motion, and then back. Left hand, right foot, and then back. Good, knees are hovering. Let the knees come down. And then one more time, inhale into cat pose. Exhale and press and round. Draw the knees together, draw the feet together. Come up off the wrists. So start to walk your hips back towards your heels. Good, and then just circle the wrists. Give the wrists a break. And a little bit of the jellyfish. And then just shake out your wrists. One more time back into tabletop pose. We'll do a little bit more for our hands and our wrists. Take the left hand and begin to turn it counterclockwise so that the fingertips point towards the left knees. And you can start to gently draw the heel of the hand down. And if you can easily get the heel of your hand down, you can even take your hips back a little bit. If you're having difficulty getting the heel of your hand down, then just stay here and breathe. And let the fascia in the hands open up gently. And then release. Take the right fingertips, turn them clockwise until the fingertips point towards the right knee. Same thing. Stretching the fingers wide apart, taking the hips back towards the heels a little bit, and breathe. All right, and then draw your fingertips so they're pointing towards the front edge of the mat and your fingers are spread wide apart. Take the hips back a little bit, walk the arms out in front of you, shoulder width apart. Start to wrap the tricep muscles down towards the mat so you feel your shoulder blades spreading on the back. Take a deep breath in and then exhaling, press into the feet and the hands, lift your hips up. Let your head be heavy and then just start to pedal the feet. Probably the first downward facing dog of the day. It is for me. So pedaling the feet, you can open up your feet nice and wide apart. You can rock your hips from side to side. Shake the head out a little bit. No and yes. Making sure you're releasing through the neck and the face and the jaw. And then let the knees come down so you're back in tabletop pose. Yep. Roll forward so your shoulders are a little bit forward of the wrists. And then bend the elbows towards the hips. So not out to the side, but actually towards the hips. And slowly lower your body down onto the mat. Let your forehead touch down. Slide your hands so that the tops of the fingertips line up with the tops of your shoulders. And then bring your legs together. And if your feet are cramping, you can tuck the toes. But if not, try to press into the tops of the feet. Really press down into the feet so you feel your kneecaps lift. Hug your outer hips together. And then without using a lot of arm strength, or really any arm strength, you're just going to begin to draw your sternum forward and then up into a baby cobra. Lowering all the way down, tuck the toes. Slide your hands back a little bit so you can easily press on to hands and knees and up and back downward facing dog. Good, again, pedal the feet, get into the hips, get into the backs of the legs. We'll do this a few times. And then on an inhalation, roll forward, come into plank pose. Either drop the knees down or slowly lower all the way down to the mat. And if you're quite ready for that, then just keep the knees down. Your body will eventually be ready. Fingertips lining up with the tops of the shoulders. Legs are really strong and active. Inhale, think of drawing your sternum forward and then up as the shoulders come back, right? Using a lot of lower body and back strength. Good. And then lower all the way down. Let the forehead touch. Slide the hands so that you have stability in the upper back and shoulders. Tuck the toes. You could either press up into plank pose or back onto hands and knees. And then again, downward facing dog. We'll do that 2 more times, so lots of practice. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, take your time, lower down. Really draw the elbows so they're pointing back towards the hips. Set the legs up nice and strong. Inhale, lifting the chest forward and up. Front of the shoulders drawing back. So you feel the shoulder blades coming together on your back. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Tuck the toes. Find the proper hand placement for your shoulders. And downward facing dog. Deep breath in through the nose. Full breath out through the mouth. Deep breath into the nose. And complete breath out through the mouth. One more time, just like that. Now, before we roll the plank pose, one more time, let's just go through this posture. So the fingers are spread nice and wide, and you're rooting down through the knuckle of the index finger and thumb. Right, you're wrapping your tricep muscles towards the mat. Imagine that you're hugging a big beach ball in between your elbows. So the armpits are not flaring out to the side. Good, and then you can bend the knees a little bit if you need to get your hips back, because you don't want to kind of be in a push-up pose. This is not downward facing dog. So the knees can be bent to support that, and the feet are hip-width apart. Take a deep breath in. Roll forward into plank pose. Find your way onto the mat, whatever is going to work for your body today. Inhale, lifting the chest forward and up. And this time, exhale. Let's go back into a child's pose. And grab your block if you need it. And rest. You can turn the palms up to open and close the hands if your wrists are getting tired. And we'll just add a twist here in child's pose. So moving the block out of the way, you'll slide your right arm underneath your left. Actually, the block might not be a bad idea because then you can put your ear on it. So you slide your right arm underneath your left. You can rest your head down on the block. You can use your left hand to support you, or you could take your left hand behind your back. I suspect many of you will be right here. Breathing. Nice. And then pressing yourself up with your left hand and getting ready to just do the same thing on the other side. So threading the left arm underneath the right, letting your left shoulder rest on the block. And you can take your right arm behind your back if you want, or use the right hand to support the posture. Gotta get a rubber band. Wherever you are, just breathing deeply. And then on an inhalation, coming back onto hands and knees. Yep. Coming back into tabletop, onto your fingertips, or grab a hold of your block. Inhaling, step your right foot forward. Yep. Lift up your left knee and wiggle that knee back. And then we'll just gently begin to straighten our legs and bend a little bit. So you need to adjust this posture so that it works for you. So straightening and bending. Yep. Warming up the legs and the hips. Good. And then holding in high lunge, pivoting to the left. Good. And right over to the other side. Yep, this class is a little bit stronger because we've been working together for a while now. So if you've been coming to class, you really probably are familiar with a lot of these postures. Good, and then let's just take a quarter turn. So we'll come to the center of our mat with our feet parallel, hands on the block, back is supported. Take a deep breath in. Exhaling, bending into the right knee, keeping the left leg straight and pressing into the outer edge of the left leg. So really working the inner leg length here. I'm feeling this in the lower part of my leg, behind my knee. Some of you might be feeling it all the way up into the groin. But all these postures are designed to, let's switch sides. To begin to stretch and open the muscles that support the hip joints so the pelvis can move more freely and your spine can be supported. Side to side, bending and straightening. Great. And then let's go ahead and bend both knees. Right? Back is flat, hands are on your hips. Inhaling slowly, come all the way up to standing. Let me open this up a little bit. Great. And then with your feet wide apart, let's pick up the left toes and turn them to the left, and pick up the right toes and turn them to the right for triangle pose. And start to bend and straighten into your left knee. Nice. And then keeping the left leg straight, pressing into the big toe. We'll start to rock the hips to the left and slide your left hand down onto the shin, your right hand on your hip. Inhaling, lift your right arm up, palm facing me. Triangle pose. Now you can take your gaze down to your front foot. I recommend that because it's easiest on the neck. And let's just take a few deep breaths. To come out of this pose, take your right hand onto your right hip, bend your left knee, lift your torso up, and straighten your leg. Good. And take your time. Let's take the pose over to the other side. So left toes turning in, right toes turning out. You're going to shift your hips to the left and let your right hand slide down. Now, I tend to hyperextend my knee a little bit. So if you are like that, then my recommendation is to keep a little micro bend in the knee. One of the things that helped me to train the muscles in my leg to not hyperextend is to use a block. So if you place a block here underneath your calf, it prevents that hyperextension, and then you're forced to fire the quadriceps. Great. Sliding your right hand down, your left arm up. Triangle pose. And again, looking down at your front foot, I think is the most healthy for your neck. And then your left hand is on your hip. Bend your right knee. Good. And then press, come all the way up to standing. Great. Let's heel toe our feet a little closer together and grab your strap. Yep. I think you guys have a strap, or you have something that you can use to get your arms wide apart so that your shoulders can move more freely. So grab your strap, and then in a standing pose, take your hands behind your back. So your feet can be hip width apart or wider, and then your hands are pretty wide apart. And this strap is really long, So I'm going to fold it a couple times so it's easier to use. Good. So with your hands pretty wide apart and you're taking an underhand grip. Your feet are hip width apart or wider. Bend your knees a little bit and get your hips to go back. Good. And then start to pulse up and down, just pulsing. So you're drawing the heads of the shoulders back. Yep, you're lifting and lowering the strap in a forward fold. Pulsing up and down. Nice. That will warm up our shoulders a little bit. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Separate your feet even wider apart. Maybe you need to open up the strap a little bit more so the hands can be even wider apart. I'll do this sideways here. Take a deep breath in. Inhaling, lift the chest up. Exhale, bend the knees. Hips go back. And we're going to forward fold, letting the arms come overhead in a safe way. If you feel the tops of the shoulders really crowding your neck, you can draw the shoulder blades down your back as you come into a forward fold. And then before you come up, bring the strap back to the back of your sacrum. Bend your knees a lot. Press into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Great. Release the strap. Let's do a couple of balancing poses. So bringing your feet together. Yeah. Actually, bringing your feet hip width apart. I think that will be better. Go back a little bit here. Yeah. Pressing into your left foot, coming up onto the ball of your right foot. When you're ready, inhaling, lifting your left foot up, flexing the toes towards the shins. Release the fingertips down, rotate the thumbs behind you, and then inhale, sweep the biceps alongside the ears. And then exhale, slowly lower down, bring your hands back to your hips. Good. Inhaling, roll onto the ball of the left foot. Really begin to strengthen through the right leg, draw the right hip in. On an inhalation, go and lift that foot up. Same thing, fingertips reach down. Rotate the thumbs behind you to find that healthy rotation in the shoulders. And then on an inhalation, sweep the arms up alongside the ears. Good, and then exhale, lower down. Again, inhale, lift the right leg up, flex the toes towards the shin, and then take your left hand to the outside of the right knee and your right hand directly back behind you. And then inhale, both arms are up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, left leg comes up. Exhale, take the left arm behind you, the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Both arms are up. And both hands are down. Nice. I've ordered a camera that sits on top of my laptop, so it'll make the lens wider, and so my head won't be cut off in future classes. Okay, let's come to the top of our mat. Feet are about hip width apart, hands are on your hips. Take a moment to press down into your feet, maybe lift the toes up, spread the toes nice and wide. Pull up through your arches. So pull up through the arches, activate the inner legs. Healthy feet, healthy knees, healthy hips. And again, fingertips reach down to the mat, rotate the thumbs behind you. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, look up. Exhale, draw your hands to your chest, then to your hips, bend the knees, take your butt back. Inhale, really lengthen forward with the chest. exhale, bend your knees a little more. You can feel those hamstrings, and get your hands down onto the mat. Either onto the fingertips or blocks. Blocks can be really helpful right now. Step one leg back, and then the other leg back into a plank pose. In plank pose on the blocks, or if your fingertips are on the mat, really work the heels back, chest is forward, lift your belly button towards your spine. And then look forward and down at the mat so that your neck is a natural extension of your spine. If you're using blocks, lift your hips up and back. You might find more freedom in the shoulders for downward facing dog. Yeah, let your head go. And then take a deep breath in. And let's come all the way down onto our knees with the blocks nearby, and then onto our back with the strap. Placing your fingertips on your abdomen, and come back to that breathing pattern where you're inhaling, you feel your belly expand, your fingertips lift up on an inhalation, and then you slow your exhale down for 1 or 2 seconds longer than your inhale. So inhaling for count of 4 or longer, and then exhaling 1 to 2 seconds longer than your inhale. Really great. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth and exhale all the breath out. Again, deep breath in. Open your mouth, exhale all the breath out. Wonderful. Draw both knees into your chest. Hold on either behind the knees or across the shin. Yep, and just rock a little bit from side to side. Massage through your back. And so as the class starts to slow down and we move towards Shavasana, final relaxation, it's going to be easier and easier for your mind to wander. So really notice when your mind wanders. The beautiful thing about yoga practice is you recognize that you're not your thoughts, you're not your mind, and that you can actually direct them where you want them to go. We talk about directing our awareness. So right now, bring your awareness to your low back. And feel the pressure of the floor against your low back. If it doesn't feel good, then you know you can drop your feet down, or maybe just one leg down at a time. If it does feel good, stay. And this kind of internal situational awareness will help you to take really good care of your body. Notice what things you're doing are causing your body to feel more pain, what things you do makes your body feel better. This practice of paying attention. And then just take your chin from one shoulder to the other. Yep. Rotating through the neck, feeling into the sides of the neck, to the back of the neck. And notice how this feels. So keeping your attention now into the neck, to your neck. Great, let's plant the feet and use your feet to lift your upper back up and slide the shoulder blades down your back so your neck has lots of space. Take your hands next to your hips, feet are hip width apart, draw a deep breath in, and then on an exhalation,
lift your hips up. You can bend your elbows and press into the upper arms. You can bring your arms underneath your back and tuck your shoulders underneath your back. You want to keep your chin fairly neutral, so it's not lifting up towards the ceiling and you're not angling it down towards the chest. And then walk your shoulders out from underneath your back if you took that option, and all the way down with the hips. Deep breath in and full breath out. Let's do that again. Press into the feet, both feet. Now, what I see a lot in this posture, and I think it's because the external rotators are tight or weak, is that the hips or the knees tend to splay out. So I really want you to think about keeping your knees parallel and in line with your hips as you lift your hips up. Really doesn't matter how high the hips go. It matters how you're practicing the posture. So the other thing you don't want to feel is all the way into the outer edges of your feet. So keep your big toe down, keep your inner heel down, but at the same time, don't collapse your arches. I know, so complicated. And then again, you can choose whatever arm posture works for you, works for your shoulders. And then when you're ready, all the way down. Great. Draw the soles of the feet together. Let the knees go wide apart. Rest your hands on your abdomen. Inhale, feel the hands expand. Exhale, feel the hands lower down. And the practice of counting your breathing. So counting silently to yourself, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is another way of anchoring your mind. Because of the mind-body connection, the stress we feel in our mind shows up in our body. And this is why yoga is such an important practice, because we can really release mental anxiety by moving our body slowly, consciously, methodically. Press the soles of the feet together. Let the knees come together. Grab a hold of your strap. If you have a really long strap like me, maybe fold it up. And take the strap around the widest part of your right foot and start to straighten your right leg. I like to have the strap in both hands. That way your shoulders and the back of your upper back is fairly balanced. And you want to hold on in a way that you can feel your upper arms and shoulders relaxing down. Let's take 4 deep breaths here. And so the part B of this sequence is to hold the strap in just the right hand. Lift up your left foot and your left knee and take your left hand to your inner left knee. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, separate your legs wide apart. Yeah. And then try not to rock to one side or the other, but really balance your body's weight across the back of your pelvis as you separate your legs nice and wide apart. Let's take 4 deep breaths here. Exhaling, draw your legs together and set just your left foot down. The strap is still around your right foot. Grab a hold of the strap with your left hand. Take your right thumb and place it into your right hip crease. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, gently press your right hip back and down. And then start to take the right foot across the body as your left knee rolls in. And again, you don't need to go very far. Just go where you feel your body start to resist. Start to stop, and then breathe there. And notice what happens after a couple of breaths. Maybe you could go further, maybe you need to back off. But again, it's that awareness, that attention to what's happening in your body that will let you be more skillful over time. Great, and then inhaling, we'll draw the right leg back up and we'll just cross the right leg over the left. Just cross the right leg over the left. Two more movements here on this side. So draw both knees into your chest. Yep. Hold on, give a little squeeze. You can draw your forehead or your nose up towards your knees. Lowering your head down and planting your left foot down. And then using your left foot to take your hips a little bit to the right before you twist. Whoa. Going slow. Yep. Oh, keeping your right shoulder down. And then on an exhalation, use your core strength, draw your knees back to center, uncross your legs, lift your hips up. This time, let your feet be wide apart. Let your knees rest together, hands are on your abdomen. Let's take a couple of deep breaths. Inhaling, feel the fingertips lift up. Exhaling, feel your fingertips lower down. All right, let's go to the other side. So when you're ready, grabbing your strap and bringing it around the widest part of your left foot and holding on. And hold on with both hands and relax your shoulders down. Let's see what time it is. Oh, good, we're doing good. And I didn't say this on the first side, but certainly if you want to, you're welcome to straighten your right leg. I find that when we extend our legs, it tends to pull our pelvis. What would that be? That'd be forward, anteriorly, right? And it exacerbates the lumbar curvature. That might not feel so good. So if you're keeping your right knee bent, then your pelvis is more neutral and it supports the lumbar spine. Let's just take a couple more breaths here. One day, hopefully soon, we'll be doing this class in person together. So with the strap around your left foot, take both ends of the strap into your left hand
And then lift up your right foot and right knee. You probably remember this, but just in case. Right, and then you're just gonna open up your legs wide apart. The right knee is gonna go to the right, the left leg is gonna go to the left, and ooh, feeling probably a really good stretch into the groin, to the upper inner legs, adductors. Whew. Take some deep breaths. And really bring your attention on where you feel the strongest sensation and stay with it. I find that we are trained to really distract ourselves from strong sensation. And what the research says is the more attention we can bring to strong sensation, the better our ability is to be with it. Whether it's physical pain, emotional pain, whatever, when we bring our attention to it, we're more capable of handling it than when we try to distract ourselves from it. Nice. Draw the knees together. And then this time you're going to take the strap in the right hand and your right foot is down. You take your left thumb and you bring it into the left hip crease. When you next exhale, just gently press that left hip away and down. And then the right knee rolls in and your left leg starts to go across. So you're getting into the IT band in the outer left leg. And wherever you start to feel some significant resistance, stop and breathe. Breathe right into that. Getting stronger from the inside out. And then inhaling, drawing your left leg to the left, releasing the strap, crossing left over right, pulling the knees in. And just so you know, all of these classes that Devin and I are doing, they're on the YouTube channel. So you can come back and visit any one of them that are your favorite. Just come back to the Fireflix Yoga YouTube channel and play them at home or at the station. Good. Drop your right leg down, pick up your hips, take them a little bit to the left, and then slowly rotate both knees over to the right, trying to keep your left shoulder down. This feels amazing for me. All right, nice. And then coming back to center, uncrossing your leg. Let's do one more posture before we have to end. Grab a hold of your block. We'll do an inversion. And let's have the block on this, on the lowest level to start with. So we'll do lowest. This is medium. This is high. So let's do low. Feet are wide enough apart so that you can easily lift your hips up and slide the block underneath your sacrum. Look at those fused vertebrae there, not your low back. Good. Now there's a couple things you can do here. You can straighten one leg to get in the front of that hip, but again, pay attention to your low back. You can straighten both legs. This may or may not feel good. You can take your arms overhead, get into the front of the body. This is one option. Other option is keep your knees bent, safest for your low back, and then draw one knee into your chest and then the other. Now your legs are up, and you can point and flex your toes and circle, getting into the ankles. You can separate your legs wide apart like we did before. Yep, or you can go wide apart this way, or maybe not that way. No, not like that for back. Yeah, let's just do it this way, like a V.
Good, not like a scissors. Yep. Elevating our feet, very relaxing. When I get really wound up and I have a hard time calming myself down, one of the things I do is lie on the floor and then put my legs up on a chair or up against the wall or up on my, well, not my bed, my bed's too high. So chair or wall or this. And I find that this is quite relaxing to my nervous system. Really great. When you're ready, bend your knees. Plant your feet, lift your hips up, slide that block out from underneath your hips. Let the hips go down. Last thing, feet are wide apart, knees are wide apart. Just windshield wiper those knees. And then just let your head roll in the opposite direction your knees are going. So you probably feel pretty good. And then when you're ready, start to get comfy on your mat. Straightening your legs, letting your legs be wide apart, opening up your arms like you're going to make snow angels in the snow. Take some space up. Maybe your arms are overhead. Now, oh, good. So I'm going to hang out with you guys for about 3 minutes while you are resting in Shavasana. Super important to just let your whole body relax now. Let your breathing return to its natural rhythm. Don't try to control or regulate your breath at all. Make little micro adjustments to your posture so that you can get really comfortable, and then just try not to move. Try not to move. Doing a little internal size up, noticing how you're feeling physically, energetically, emotionally, mentally. I'm sticking around and I'll keep track of the time. So just let yourself go, falling into a deep relaxation. Allowing the tops of the shoulders to release, letting the jaw release and the lips part, softening in the abdomen and in the hips. Just feeling your whole body being supported by the floor. And take about 6 more deep breaths here.
And slowly, gently coming back to your body and your breath, rolling onto one side. And all the way up to sitting, taking your time, sitting back on a block. I'm sitting on a block, sitting on a bolster, rolling up your mat, sitting on the edge of your mat. And just returning to your intention for your practice today, noticing where you're at now. And that's it. You did it. Great class. I hope to see you in person soon. Thanks for practicing. Until next time, be safe. Stay well, stay healthy. We need you. And thank you. Bye for now.